and new WWE champion, Paul Bourgon. Put your hands together for Paul, everybody.
One of you guys has a crow problem.
Our Father, for I have sinned.
On the lips. I can't even make my own stuff funny. How am I going to make your stuff funny? Like, ha!
Never have I ever had sex in a public location.
I've been a very bad boy.
That'll be 3 Hail Marys and a Blowski.
It was intended to be a fart, but it turned out to be more than just a fart.
Music to my non-existent ears, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Six Nuts Podcast. I'm your host, Dave, joined as always by our good friends, Paul Bourgon and Jordan Angus. They are the other 4 nuts. Gentlemen, welcome. I think we're on episode number 3,000. Welcome.
3,000? Where have I been?
Yeah, well, you've maybe slept through a few. We got a great show today. We got a special guest. He's in the green room now. I could see him all the way from the Big Smoke, the center of the universe from Toronto. We got a guest. We'll be bringing him on momentarily. But gentlemen, I want to encourage everybody watching to like and subscribe. And I got breaking news. This is going to floor you guys. We are international. I think we've talked about it before. We're seen in like countries all over the world. Portugal has made a big move. They are now up to 7th place in terms of countries that are viewing us. They have just skyrocketed up to 7th, and they're on the heels of Germany. They're about to overtake Germany.
Portugal, very nice.
Exactly. So, we're you guys should be excited, man. We are big in Portugal. Big.
Sweet. Let's go, guys.
I do, like, out of all the impressions, like, honestly, God, my brother and sister, they die over my Portuguese accents, my Portuguese impressions. When I grew up, lived next to Portuguese people, like, our entire life.
Yeah.
And I just spent my, bunch about place, bunch about 2 lights. So, like, my Portuguese accent is, I'm just waiting for the chance to be able to do it, because, like, you can get away with Portuguese impressions, eh? Like, you can't do impressions of, like, the big 3, I call them, but Portuguese, I think you can get away with it. No one really wants to cancel you.
Well, here, you could do this whole episode with a Portuguese accent.
No
one would object that. So feel free.
As long as you talk about Ronaldo and football, we're good.
Yeah, well, exactly.
The only things I don't know about is like Portuguese athletes.
Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo, done.
Portuguese athletes, 200, please. Yeah.
Let's bring on our guest, and I'm hoping that this guest will help boost our viewership in Italy, because we need some help in Italy. So let's bring on, all the way hailing from the Big Smoke, Toronto. Let's introduce Vinny Vinelli to the show. Vinny, welcome to the Six Nuts Podcast.
Yes. Buongiorno, come stai? Tutto bene?
Oh, yeah, I don't know what the hell you just said, but welcome, man.
He said hello, and everything is good, everyone.
Yeah, perfect. Well, that's right.
Cool,
yeah,
man.
Well done.
Let's
go. Have some touch the mista after this, eh? Let's go.
Exactly. So, Vinny, we got some few questions. I'm going to start with a question or two, and Jordan and Paul can jump in whenever they want. But first things first, man. First thing we always do on this podcast is we do a segment called Hold My Beer. Now, I'm going to start this one because this is a segment where we just go around the room and introduce our beverage of choice. Doesn't necessarily have to be beer. I did tea one episode and I got lambasted for it, so I've learned not to do that again. So I'm doing Mill Street Organic again, only because I've been too lazy to go out and buy some brand new beer. But I pledge to everybody here, next week I will have a different beer. That is a promise. So let's go over to my right or my left, Jordan Angus. Top right.
If you know me, you know I hate IPAs. So I'm drinking an IPA today. It's the Flying Monkey Juicy Ass. I'm not looking forward to this at all because I can't stand IPAs. I hate them so bad.
All right. So the question is, why are you drinking it if you hate it so much?
I went to the LCBO. I'm running out of beers to try. Okay, let's be real. We're getting kind of deep into these, and I'm like, I need a different beer. I was talking to the associate there, and they're like, "Oh, have you had this one?" I'm like, "Yes." Have you had that one? Yes. Well, try the Flying Monkey. And I'm like, "Fuck."
Well,
So
points for switching it up. You know.
yeah, have to.
Absolutely. I can't criticize because I've had the same beer now for 4 weeks in a row. So that is an interesting choice, Jordan. And I could tell by the reaction on your face, you're not liking it.
It does taste like a juicy ass.
I've never had a juicy ass.
You've
Paul
had more
Bourgon.
of those than IPAs, eh?
Paul Bourgon, let's move down to you, man.
So on the note of same drinks, something you guys have never seen before. The Big Rig hard root beer.
Nice. Hard root beer.
I had the option, so I have 3 of them in my fridge. I've got 3 different ones, and I was like, okay, because I have anxiety now about because of you guys, like we're giving all each other complexes about the beers that we're drinking. But
exactly.
Let's fucking lay off. But I was looking at the 3 of them, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And so I opened up one of these and thought that this would just be sufficient enough. It's the hard root beer.
It probably tastes a hell of a lot better than this juicy asshole I have to sip on for the rest of this show.
Well, again, I can't criticize because I've been 4 weeks in a row, same beer. All right, Paul, that's a good choice. Vinny Vinelli, let's move down to yourself.
Well, hello. I've got coffee. Coffee is my drink of choice. Look at this thing. Look at the size of this thing. I have about 2 of these a day. All right.
McDonald's. Yeah.
Well, like maybe not McDonald's, but I have like the Venti from Starbucks. I'll also do a cappuccino. I got the little machinette. I'm Italian, right? Obviously. So we're getting a little machinette there. I get a couple of espressos done in the course of the day. I just told my mom right now, like, Gianluca, look at my son. Come here. Gianluca, come here.
All right, who's this? This we got?
This is my son, Gianluca. Gianluca, can you go upstairs and ask mommy to get the... Can you ask her to get the Peroni? The beer? The Peroni beer.
Hey, let's go.
All right, let's go.
The Ouzo. We want the Ouzo, man.
We're going all Italian here. That's it. Woodbridge represent,
Nice. So I got to ask you, Vinny, before we learn more about you, obviously you're married, and I think Paul mentioned last week he was going to host an Italian wedding. So, Vinny, did you have like a traditional Italian wedding with like 1,000 courses, chocolate fountains, all that good stuff?
Oh, man, it was chaos. The best part is I didn't actually marry an Italian. So you should have seen her eyes throughout the entire time. Like, come here. All right, come here.
Well, he's bringing everybody onto the show.
How am I going to open this?
I love it, man. Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice.
The Peroni, right? We're going to have the Peroni now. But she's not Italian. So watching her eyes during the banquet part was just hilarious. Because she looked like a deer in the headlights. You had my best man. He's like loading people in. She didn't know that it was supposed to be like a mugging of like 300 people at once, like an organized robbery. But it was because that's what we do, right? Like, okay, drop off the envelopes over here, congratulate the bride and groom, go into those big giant doors, we'll shut them and go count the money, right? That's what we do, right? But it was,
you don't even wait till the end of the wedding. You like go right.
And we document everything, right? Okay, fine, Massimo, $200. All right, fine. Now when his daughter gets married,
$200.
Okay, we got the books now. We got the books, right? God forbid you get a toaster, so help me God. But
that's important though, isn't it, Vinny? Like you got to match what somebody gives you. You have to match them, right? Like
cost of living doesn't go up, eh? Like when your niece gets married 15 years from now, it's still the same.
No, it does go up, but the thing is, nobody knows when it goes up and by how much.
Yeah.
We keep each other the same amounts. We don't know what we're doing.
And Italians don't forget. That's one thing I know.
Oh, they don't.
Okay.
I'm gonna come.
That's not true. My dad forgot about me. He's Italian. He left before I came out. So don't forget my ass, right?
We're sorry to bring that up, Jordan, man. We didn't mean that.
Talking about not forgetting. Pops, where the fuck did you go?
Oh man. But Vinny, you got a great name, man. So standard question, man. If you could just share for our audience, our worldwide audience, maybe just a little bit about yourself, how you got into comedy, how long you've been doing it. Just
Well,
stuff like that.
speaking
Just
of
a bit of
Italian dads, Jordan. I mean, it's actually well, it's not sad. My dad died, and it was right after that. It was about 6 years ago. I'm like, you know what? You only live once, right? So I decided I'm going to try this comedy thing out. What the heck? Let's give it a shot, right? I've always wanted to do it, and I did it, and now it's been the best decision of my life. I really I love it. Uh, it's taking off, doing very well. I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate here in Toronto. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of stand up. I've also been producing a lot now as well over
Good.
the last
Yeah.
2 years. You know,
So
can't
how long you been
complain.
doing stand up? When did you start?
Just 6 years. It's been 6 years now.
6 years.
Good. That's
Yeah.
a good. That's a good time. You're almost like at the you're almost at the point now where you're like you're no longer considered a you're not no longer considered a newbie. You know what I mean? It's funny how long it
Yeah.
takes you to get your
Yeah.
foot in the door kind of thing. You know, like 6 years is a long time. You know.
Yeah, well, I almost made someone laugh the other day, so I'm getting there. You know, like
Yeah,
it's
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know, like you're just getting to the point now where you're making people laugh. Yeah. Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
much of your stuff is based on like your family events? Like, are you walking around the house saying, "Oh my God, my kid just did this. I got to write this down and talk
Yes.
about it on stage."
I use my phone, man. Like I'm always on the phone. That's what I do. Like I'll be exhausted first thing in the morning, and my kids will just say something like they had a dream where they were being eaten by a hot dog. I'm like, what? I just got to write this stuff down. Like this is good, you know. Yeah, that's usually how I get my material. It's always very clean, very safe because not only am I a dad of 3 young children, but I also am a teacher. So
Oh,
Cool.
I don't want to get in trouble. So everything is clean. I'd like to not be clean, but everything is about family, marriage. Being Italian is a lot of it, ton of
yeah.
it. You know, gaining weight, my wife trying to turn me into a vegan. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that being Italian, man.
Is gabagool vegan?
I don't even know what gabagool is.
I think it's
I know
Nobody does.
Capicolo.
what is.
It's Capicolo, like what it's.
Oh,
Gabagool.
gabagool.
Yeah.
Gabagool. I know
Gabagool. I
that.
thought you say gabagool.
Oh, yeah, gabagool. Okay. Un poco di prosciutto.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So what do you teach? Or do you teach little kids or
I teach grade 8. So I was about
Grade
13 years old. Grade 8. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're getting the attitude. The attitude's starting, eh?
Every girl in the class looks at me like this, like you're like the dumbest human being alive. That's the way they look at you, right?
Oh,
Like it's just always the whole day, just darts, just death stare the whole day long. Whatever.
it's
I love
funny
my
how
job.
it's funny how well I mean, not funny, but it's there's a huge coincidence of a lot of like people who are teachers that also do stand up on the side. You know, like it's obviously you're up in front of your class and you're talking, so public speaking kind of is just a part of you because you're a teacher. You know, you're used to it, but how you can transition from that, like I mean, Jerry D, he's a
Right.
famous enough teacher that we have guys in Ottawa that we do shows with that are teachers, and I'm sure there's been a lot more out there that have, that do stand up that were also teachers. But it's do you find that it makes it like that you kind of had a one up on the rest of the crowd, because you've obviously been teaching for a lot longer than you've been doing stand up, right?
Yeah, more than twice as long now. Yeah.
So yeah, like you've been teaching for like what 15 years, 20 years,
About 13 years now.
13.
This is my second
so I
career.
mean,
Yeah.
getting into stand up kind of thing was almost a little bit more natural, eh?
A lot of people have told me that. I've mentioned that, and when I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, especially during the 4 years that I supply taught, because you're getting like a new bunch of students, like 20 new students, because I taught high school, right? So high school, right? So 20 new students, and you got to get them like that, right? So that
It's
did
almost
sort of
like
help.
it's almost like MCing, as opposed to just being on a bill, just doing a 7-minute set. Like you're MCing, I find you get off stage and you can they like this, they laughed at that, so you can get back up, But being a full-time teacher, over day after day after day, you kind of know how to talk to your students. Which class you got to be serious. Which class you can joke around with. But like I never actually thought of that. Like when you were supplying, you're right. Yeah. You only have that class to get them to pay attention to you, or make you go to your car and cry. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
They gotta love you instantly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
That's a good point.
Are you fun? Do you try to be funny in class, like crack jokes and
I'm
stuff?
hilarious. I'm hilarious. No, my students all know I do comedy, so they know. Like I've
Okay.
actually tested material out on them. Okay, it's all clean material. So yeah. No, I joke with them, and sometimes that does help. It really does. It's more like you're doing crowd work every day. That's what you're doing. You're doing crowd work. You're managing the energies. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jay
interesting.
Yoder out of New York City, good friend of mine. He's actually doing a whole tour just on teachers touring. It's great.
Oh,
It's
wow.
called Board Teachers. Yeah, look it up. It's great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
he was
That's
just here in
cool.
Hamilton.
In
Oh,
Hamilton.
interesting.
Yeah, he was in Hamilton, just performed here. I want to say like a month and a half.
Nice. Yeah. I taught martial arts for 13 years.
Yeah.
I like one of the job portion of it really is I taught at high schools. I had 5 high schools that I
Okay.
taught. Like I came in and did the martial arts program. So I wasn't so much a teacher, but I was like, there was a month where I'd be at the same school, for like 4 classes a day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have that in your schools now, like, the gym portion will have like an archery for a week. They'll have camping for a week. They'll have volleyball for a week. And they do martial arts, for a lot of schools for a week. It gives the teacher a chance to just sit on the side and do nothing, and then and look at him like, hey, see that kid there? See that kid in the blue shorts? Do me a favor, use him as your example, okay? And just give it to him. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a license to like beat up kids kind of thing, right? But I understand the you're only there for a week, right? And I not to make it about me, but I'm just comparing to what you're saying about the supply teaching. I found that the first day when you get in, everybody's looking at you like, who's this guy? Like, grade 9 to grade 12 kids, like, who's this kid? But by the end of the week, they kind of respect you a little more, right? But you have
Hopefully.
that only in one class. It's probably really tough.
Yeah, but I teach all 9 subjects, so that's not so much fun. But
Holy cow.
Wow.
yeah, math,
What's it take-
language,
what's it take in
health,
school,
science,
university?
geography, history, language. So English major.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Nice. My wife, Vinny, hates stand-up comedy. Is your wife and kids? Well, is your wife on board? Like, does she come out to your shows? Does she like your comedy? Does she watch your comedy? Or how's that whole dynamic?
Yeah, she supports me big time. But like if we're doing like I always do my shows in Toronto, and as we have to drive back to pick up the kids at my mom's house, she gives me a whole bunch of pointers. Like she's never done stand-up comedy in her life, but she'll just say,
That's great.
you really didn't say it. I didn't feel the energy. I'm like, who are you? Like,
Those are the best, eh?
oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's great, man.
She's smarter than me. She's a genius, math genius, whatever, But yeah, she's giving me tips on comedy and stand-up. So
Nice.
I think we all get that from people, eh? Like we all get that one person that's always wanted to do it, but they come up to you after,
exactly.
It's probably important though, like I think it is, for your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever you're living with. If you're doing stand-up, it's Dave. You say like your wife hates comedy. It's almost like she's your best crowd then, because you're always trying to make her laugh.
Yeah,
Never laughing at anything you say. If you get a laugh once out of her, you're like, okay,
there's some truth to that. I test material on her and my sister, who's a big supporter of mine. I'm thankful for that. And I know if I can get my wife to laugh at something, I'm pretty sure that it will work. But yeah, but she's great. I mean, she supports me and lets me do my thing and
it just
gets
sucks.
me out of the house.
Sucks now that we're doing it. People like my brother a couple weeks ago, we were at a family dinner, and I just said something, and my brother's sitting next to me, and he just looks over at me and says, "What are you trying out your bits right now at dinner?" And I'm just like this. I'm just like this, like. I can't even talk.
True.
Yeah, that's
so
all it is.
True.
But it's like, well, yeah, I was doing my bits for you before I was a comedian. I'm just now I'm a comedian. You're calling me out for it,
All the time. My son's 18, and he knows when I'm trying to bid. He goes, "Dad, stop trying to bid on me, okay?"
Yeah.
Like he's come to know, like, yeah, I'm trying to bid on you.
How old is he?
He's 18. 18.
Oh, okay.
So he's pretty sharp, and he gets it.
Well, send him to his room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're grounded. How about that?
Yeah.
How's that for a
Yeah.
pick? You're grounded.
Yeah, send him to where he's got like all the video games and everything and all
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
That'll
Yeah.
teach him. That'll teach him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what
Knock,
did you
knock, who's
do?
there? Go to your room.
Yeah, exactly. So how did you handle COVID? I
That
mean,
was tough.
were you?
I did the Zoom shows. A lot of Zoom shows.
How were they,
That was-
man? They must have sucked.
especially because you can't really hear the audience because I'm always going off audience reaction, right? And
Yeah.
you're just saying a joke, there's a punch and nothing, just silence, right? So I'm just going to pretend in my head that they laughed and I'm just going to continue, but it's all that we had, right? I mean, it was, and the worst part about the online comedy was,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just a silly goose. That's what I'm, a silly goose. Sorry.
Too much. All right. You know what? It's time for a segment that I have no introduction for. Do you guys want to play overrated, underrated, or properly rated? Please say yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise the show is over.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
All right. So for those of you watching, especially you in Portugal, how this works is I will bring up a topic or an item or a thing or an object on the screen, and we'll go around the room and you tell me if you think it's overrated,
Now,
underrated, or properly rated.
last time I think we made you drink, right? To this, Dave, did we not? had, like,
No,
tiebreakers
that was in Never Have I Ever, I think.
Okay.
We could
okay.
drink to this. I don't care.
Let's do it.
I have to finish this disgusting beer. So.
We have these beers, these drinks,
Yes.
and we're never finished them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
I
you
do
take your
every
sips
single
down,
time.
you know, like they should be finished, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, Vinny's opening his. All right.
There we go.
Woo!
My wife just got me the opening.
Oh.
There we go. Good.
Let's go. That's great, man.
Oh,
All right. There we go. Look at that.
Boy.
You should be a spokesman for that beer, man. Oh, who gave the thumbs up? Who did that?
Don't know.
I
Somebody
don't
gave
even know
a
how
thumbs
to
up.
give a thumbs up, so it's not me.
I just saw a thumbs up pop up on the screen. So
I usually
anyway.
get a different finger. Okay.
There we go. All right. So
One of these.
I've got a bunch of Canadiana things. So we're going to start with you, Vinny, and then we'll go to Paul and Jordan on this first one. So you tell me if this is overrated, underrated, or properly rated. And the first item is the Leafs fired Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah,
So, Vinny, you got to tell us,
us.
is this overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Why did you have to bring up the Leafs? That's what I'm still recovering. I'm still okay. I just went out for the first time yesterday. Okay. I think
Do it by now, Vinny.
Leafs fired Sheldon Keefe. I that's about right. That's about right to me. They should have fired him. Yeah. I think they should have fired him. I think they should fire the entire management team. Don't get me started on the Leafs because this is going to turn into a very negative thing. So it's better. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's move on. All right. So you say it's properly rated. Paul Bourgon, we know you're not a big sports fan, but
Oh well, I mean,
you can
depends
weigh in
on what
anyway.
he did. You know, did he shit? Did he leave a big turd? And like, you know, what was he doing? Did he park in the
Pretty
only
much.
spot? Like, was he, you know, was he always cutting people off? Like, was he like, what did he do? You know,
He
like,
shit the bed. He shit the bed.
Yeah, he did.
well,
shit the bed.
I mean, was it an accident though? Like, you know,
He's shit the bed multiple times.
Did he have Indian food the night before? Like, what was it? You know,
Every year he's shit the
I had
bed.
the pleasure of getting to know a few guys that played for, you know, Ottawa. I'm still friends with a few of them, and like I can remember being out with buddies that are hockey fans, and they'd be like I can't stand this guy. He sucks. He just said, and I defend them like, no, he doesn't. He's a great guy. He's a nice, you know, like. So I always sort of could never understand I was on a different side of the fence of like ripping into someone, but you know them, you know,
Yeah.
so you're defending them because you know the person, right? And I
Yep.
can't imagine if like at my job, if the whole world, you know, was watching me do my job and like, you know what I mean, like chastise me for it. So I have no idea who Sheldon Keefe is, and you know, was he a coach?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the Toronto Maple Leafs coach.
Okay, well, the coaches get fired all the time, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, it's something to expect. I bet you Sheldon Keefe will find a job somewhere else.
I'm
Yeah,
sure he will. I'm sure he
We're still
will.
going to be paying it for the next 2 years.
I'm going to go middle
Yep.
on this one.
All right. So you're neutral on this one. Jordan, Leafs
Yeah,
fired Sheldon Keefe.
I'm just gonna say, as a Sens fan, it's great to beat you guys on the ice during the regular season, and it's great to beat you at the golf course too, because we get more practice than you guys. So, sorry about the tee times. This is definitely properly rated. They had to fire Keefe. They have a lot of stuff to do, like Vinny said. As much as I'd like to razz you, I am following a lot of hockey stuff, but this was like top priority for them. Next thing, Shanahan's got to go, and you guys got to get rid of one of your big five, at least one. I want to see you guys do well. As much as I'm teasing you and I like teasing Leaf fans, I want the Leafs to do well because I'm sick of seeing American teams win the Cup every year. I don't give a crap at this point if the Leafs win it. I want them to, so that way I don't have to hear it from my American friends. So please do something.
We did a comedy show together that was Ottawa Senators versus Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Yes.
Here in Toronto, and we won, right?
Yes, you did. You did.
Have you ever been to a game? Have you ever been to a Toronto Ottawa game in Ottawa?
Oh no.
Oh,
it's just the Toronto game.
You might as well be at a Toronto game in Toronto.
It's like a Leafs home game.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
There's so much. It's sort of one of the noisiest. It's one of the most expensive, if not, I think it is the most expensive. If not, like Montreal would be a toss up to Montreal. But like you go to a Ottawa Leafs game in Ottawa, like when the Ottawa scores, you hear boos.
That's true.
It's insane. Yeah,
it's true. Well, I'm going to weigh in on this. I'm going to say I'm going to be the contrarian and say that this is overrated. Underrated. Firing Sheldon Keefe, I think, is a mistake. I think if you look at his winning percentage, it's outstanding. Sure, they've accomplished nothing in the playoffs, but I think that's a player issue. I don't think it's a Sheldon Keefe issue, and I think the Leafs are going to regret this move in the long run. But that's just my opinion. Let's move on to the next one. We'll go the other way. Jordan, we'll start with you. Mitch Marner. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
This is all Leafs theme? Okay, so this is my biggest problem.
Leaf one. It's the last Leaf one.
Mitch Marner is overrated because he's playing on a team with, and I'm saying Matthews and Nylander are the two best players on their team. He is overrated. You put Marner on a different team, he's not getting 95 points. He'd be like Drake Batherson for Ottawa, okay? I'm sorry. I love Mitchie boy, but he's overrated. Overrated.
All right. Yeah. Paul Bourgault, are you neutral on this one or there you go.
He's like, why?
Right, you know what? I don't know what the question is. Is he overrated, underrated as a player?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard his name, and he's a young guy, isn't he?
Yeah. 26, 27?
Yeah, mid to late 20s.
Oh, so he's
26.
Like, not that young. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I hope he's happy. That's all.
Me too.
I hope he's a happy person. That's all.
Yeah.
He's making a lot of money. All right, Vinny, over to you. Mitch Marner, overrated?
He is underrated. He's one of the best players in the NHL. I would even say top 5. And let me tell you something. Matthews would not be getting those goals without him. Do you notice how Matthews went on a losing streak? By the way, the Portuguese contingent are they all about the hockey? I'm not sure. Like,
no,
they love hockey.
I'll tell you what they're
thumbs
about.
up if you're liking the hockey.
Tomato plants in their backyard, cooking fish on a barbecue,
and talking football with Cristiano Ronaldo.
You know what the most popular sport is in Portugal? I heard roller field hockey, roller skates, and field hockey sticks.
Really?
Very nice.
Look it up.
Very nice.
Really?
Well,
okay.
Soccer now, but yeah.
We'll have to look it up. All right. So you're saying he's underrated, Vinny?
100%. Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to agree with you. He's underrated. No, I'm going to disagree with you. He's overrated because in the playoffs, the guy disappears, man. He's a ghost.
It cost you guys 2 games. It cost you 2 games.
All right. Let's move on because Vinny's about to disconnect here. All right. Let's move on. Vinny, we're going to start with you on this one. Ketchup chips, which is exclusively a Canadian thing. They do not have ketchup chips in the U.S. So, Vinny, ketchup chips overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Overrated. I don't like them. I just
Oh,
like plain
what?
chips. I like,
Oh,
and I like the most boring. I like lightly salted chips. In the blue bags are the Lay's lightly salted.
wow, Vinny.
Yeah, I did a show
Vinny.
actually on Canadian American relations, and this was one of the topics that came up. I was doing like a man on the street sort of thing, and
Yep.
we talked about this. Yes, ketchup chips and shreddies, and
Overrated. Jesus. Okay.
I don't like them.
Uh,
Sorry,
you're not Canadian, man.
I know.
Paul, ketchup chips. Overrated, underrated? Is Paul's having an orgasm, I think.
Ketchup chips, they're awesome. I remember, but this is the thing. I remember back in the day, like it's funny where we're all at that age now. We're like, I can remember when chips, these were 50 cents. Okay. I went to get a bag of chips the other day, and I was gonna get the new Cool Ranch dill pickle combo Doritos. Okay. And like for a big bag of chips, which is not as same as what the big bags used to be. The big bag of chips was $6.25.
Oh my God.
Okay. And so, like I say, I remember when chips were, you buy a bag of ketchup chips, and those were my go-to back in the day. Okay. Chips pop in a bar. Okay. And 50 cents. So I ate ketchup chips so much. And the thing about, I would say, not that they're overrated, but the thing is when you eat them, you eat a whole bag, it rips your mouth apart, right? It's exactly
Yep.
what Vinny was saying. Lightly salted, because like you eat a whole bag of salt and vinegar chips, your taste buds are gone for the next week. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't know where to stand on that other than to say I love ketchup chips. Like,
So properly rated.
yeah.
Jordan, up to you, man. Ketchup chips.
I'm going to say ketchup chips are underrated. And here's why. You hear ketchup chips, and if you're like me, ketchup, whatever, okay? Ketchup potato chips sounds disgusting until you try one and your fucking mind gets blown because you're not expecting that delicious taste. I am a chip connoisseur, and I will tell you that if you haven't had a ketchup chip at least once in your life, you are missing out. My friend in Australia got him ketchup chips. By the way, that cost a lot just to get that shit out there. And when
you send him a bag of ketchup chips.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah,
it was
next day
ridiculous
delivery.
how long it took. But yeah. And he put it in his mouth. I thought he got bit by a snake because his face turned white and he didn't say anything. And I was like, oh my God, you okay, man? He goes, this is like the best chip I've ever had.
I love these chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Jordan. I say they are underrated because I'm shocked that this has not gone into the US and around the world because they are amazing. I love ketchup chips. I love ketchup. I'd put ketchup on anything. And the chips are amazing.
I think they don't have all dressed either in the States. They don't have all dressed.
You might be right. I
think I am.
Yeah,
they don't.
Right
I think I'm
one.
more of a connoisseur of chips than Jordan is. I just,
I would agree.
We're
Jordan,
gonna have to do this. I just want to let you know I was a stoner for a long time, and that's the go-to is chips.
I was as well. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
All right, so ketchup chips. I think we're split on that one. All right, couple more. Let's go to the next one. Jordan, we'll start with you. Tim Hortons, which is uniquely Canadian. Tim Hortons, overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
If you asked me about 5 to 8 years ago, I probably would have said it's properly or underrated. Now I'm going to say it's overrated. The coffee now is garbage. McDonald's got the old Tim Hortons coffee, those lucky bastards. And I think Tim Hortons did way too much. It's not the same. It is overrated now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do drink Timmy's every morning, but that's only because I don't want to wait in the McDonald's lineup. And I need a coffee really badly. So it's overrated.
Overrated. Paul, let's go to you, man. Tim Hortons.
I mean, what are we talking about here? Like their food, their service, their the coffee. It's like that one girl that you went out with, that had like a lazy eye, and a missing a tooth, but she was really good in bed. So you let it go. You focus on that one thing, like I love the sour cream glazed donuts so much that I like Tim Hortons because of it. You know what I mean? It's like watching a movie with the one really funny part and you're just like, I like the movie, but the rest of the movie sucks.
Yeah.
It's so I mean, I guess I'd say properly rated because I like the donuts so much. The other day I went out and got 6 donuts and just ate them like I mean, that's the
Yeah.
kind of life that I'm living, and saying that now online, right?
Living the dream, man.
Yeah,
We envy you, man.
but
Envy
yeah,
you.
I'd say they're properly rated. You know.
All right. Properly rated. Vinny, over to you. Tim Hortons.
I'm trying to think. If you come up with a comedy album, Paul, it should be like called "Ketchup Chips and Half a Dozen Donuts" or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tim Hortons is the most overrated place in the history of the world. Okay, about
Thank you.
20 years ago, it was fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Now they carry like what, 3 donuts? Okay, pizza. They're selling pizza. Now. Pizza.
That's a sin. It's a sin.
I think
Come
you're
on,
right, Vinny.
outta
Like
here.
you may be right. You may be right. Well, it's just there's so many coffee places now. You know,
Yeah.
like there's so many like places.
But
to
the
go
one
to
thing they
now.
were known for was
Yeah,
coffee, and their coffee sucks now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coffees. It's exactly. It's
Yeah.
And it's inconsistent. You go to one Tim Hortons, it tastes one way. You go to another Tim Hortons, it tastes another way. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a coffee nut, and I swear to you, I cannot drink Tim Hortons coffee. I can't. I just can't do it. It's horrible.
Yeah. It's
It's
terrible,
horrible. And
man.
I don't know what they did to my double chocolate donut, but I don't like it.
You guys
Okay.
are all coffee people. Hey, Jordan, you said that you
Yeah.
have to have a coffee in the morning.
Have to. I can't function. I'm a fucking exactly. Yeah, I'm an asshole if I don't get one cup of coffee. And
I've done the work and driving truck, you know, for 15 years.
Yeah.
Going to get coffee in the morning only because it's 15, 20 minutes away from doing your job, you know, to get your coffee. I've never in my life felt the effects of coffee, what it does.
I've been, I don't know if it's, I was trying to fill this need to try to connect with my Italian heritage, but I've been drinking coffee since I was like 9. And then everybody's telling me it's going to stunt your growth. It's going to do all this horrible stuff. My father's 5'3", my mom's 5'2", I'm 5'10". It didn't do any of that shit. It just made me a more pleasant human being. So, yeah, I am. Yeah, I need
to stimulants and drugs. Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
I will agree with Vinny. Stick to donuts, man. Don't try to do pizza and all this other sandwiches and crap. Go back to the basics, man. Quit trying to compete with everybody else, man. Tim Hortons.
They used to sell slabs of
overrated.
pigs.
Yeah. All right, we got one more, and then we'll get into final thoughts. Last one here, Vinny. We'll start with you. I don't know why I picked this one, but camping. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to go back to the Tim Hortons thing just for 1 second.
Yeah.
To my people out there in Portugal, can you please give a recipe to Tim Hortons that they can actually carry the queijada natas? The natas, you know what am I saying it right? Queijada
I think
natas.
so.
Sure.
Yeah. Those custard tarts. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, those custard tarts. Oh my God. Woo! I tell you.
I think Vinny just had an orgasm.
I don't think
Tim
Hortons is in Portugal, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. In terms of camping, I don't know. I think it's overrated. I don't know. As much as I enjoy, pretending I'm homeless for a few days, it's just not my thing, really. I don't like bugs. I like TV. I like comfort, warm beds. Not a camper.
All right, Paul, camping.
Last time I went camping was in high school. I was on the leadership teams, and we went on a hike through Algonquin Park and got lost. And we were lost. There's 6 of us that were lost for like 19 hours. And at that point, we're like, after about 19 hours, I'm starting to be like, okay, who am I going to eat? Who am I going to eat? Like that's really what it gets to, right? And it's sort of how I've determined that, like, I don't think I know I'm not racist, because like it doesn't matter if you're Portuguese or black or Chinese or Lebanese. Like, I would eat anybody. It does, like, I have that joke that I've been meaning to try to say. Like, I don't know if I'd go for the Chinese person first, because like I don't want to be hungry again after an hour. Like,
Right.
do I go to the Arabic person? Like, I'm super full. Like, do I go to the like the Indian person? Like, I don't want diarrhea. Like, do I eat the black guy first? Like, I don't have time to slow cook a black guy's leg. Like, you know how strong those people are? That's hard muscle. Like, the worst food would be a white person on a camping trip, I think. Like a fatty, disgusting white person. So camping, depends on who you're with.
Overrated. So we've just lost our Asian audience. That's all right.
Yeah, they're totally tuned in to watching it. Yeah, listening to this.
They're
Yeah, camping. Yeah.
But I think I lost it. Hold on.
up to you, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I thought Vinny would have been like, "Hey, it's underrated. That's how you lose a guy." And then Paul basically said, "That's how you lose a guy." So
I'm not kidding. 19
Yeah.
hours lost at Algonquin Park.
Horrible.
yeah. I'm gonna say camping's properly rated. I enjoy camping for a period of time. I was homeless at one point, and I can confirm that camping is better than being homeless because you're not gonna have a crackhead in the middle of the woods asking you for some kind of crack change, right? That's just not how. If you run into somebody in the woods, they want food, not crack. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's properly rated. If you like camping, if you don't like camping, it's right in the middle. So that's easy to please everybody there.
Would you
I gotta
rather do crack or eat a person? Like, let's say you're lost for 3 days. Okay, you
Yeah.
haven't eaten. Like, and someone gave you the option. Like, I'll give you this bowl of crack or whatever the hell how they do it, or this nice juicy thigh.
But is it a Chinese thigh?
Hey,
Yeah,
That's what,
Hey, good
see-
question.
let's talk.
Good question.
I don't
I'm gonna
know.
say- yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to do crack. I don't want to get addicted to crack while I'm camping. Like,
I was gonna say, like, you do crack and people go back. I don't know many people who eat a leg and go, I'm gonna try that again.
I'm
For
addicted to
sure.
people now. Yeah.
Crazy. All right. I'm going to say camping is overrated. Vinny, I agree with you. Who wants to pay to live like a homeless person? So that will bring to an end this amazing segment of overrated, underrated, or properly rated. We got one more thing to do, and then we are out of here. We are going to do final thoughts next. All right, final thoughts. Let's start with you, Jordan. Angus, your final thoughts for this episode.
Great episode talking about whether we do crack or eat a human being. I love that highlight of the show for sure. Yeah, no, I'm glad to have Vinny here. It's nice to see you again, man. Been a little while. Excited for this week. It's a little bit more calmer for me. I did a lot of shows this week. I got raccoon eyes. I look like I just came off the street. So yeah, all I want to do is say thank you, Vinny. Realize we have a little bit more in common than I thought we did. We both can't stand Timmy's, so.
Right on. Thank you, Jordan. Paul, let's go to you. Your final thoughts for today.
Vinny, thanks again for coming out, man. Again, I met you for the first time at that Battle of Ontario. I think it was it February? Did we do
January 6th, man.
That was a good time. Not much going on, and for me, I know. I think, do we have something this Sunday?
Next Sunday.
No.
It's next Sunday. Okay, so
This Sunday is Mother's Day, so I'm going to be very busy with my two mothers.
Yeah. yeah, it sucks.
But you'll have free time during Father's Day, right? I mean,
Yeah.
There you
we
go,
all
man.
do.
Thanks,
Yeah, we all
thanks
do.
for bringing that up.
Yeah, we all do.
you guys are turning me into a horrible person.
I
I'm
don't even
usually
know.
a
I
nice
don't even know
guy.
what Father's Day is. Vinny, my dad died when I was 5, so I mean, like,
Aw.
I know it's in June or July or something like that.
It's in
Anyway,
June.
so
It's in June.
yeah, my final thoughts are thanks, man, for coming out. We appreciate you joining the podcast with us.
Yeah, I will agree with that. That'll be my final thought. Thank you, Vinny. Appreciate your time. And we will leave the last word to you, Vinny Vinelli. Tell us whatever you want. Promote your shows, your social media platform, whatever you wish. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, VinnyComedy.com. That's Vinny with a Y, VinnyComedy.com. If you want, you can visit there. You can book me. You can see where all my shows are. As of right now, I'll be leaving in about 2 hours. We'll be doing a show at the KW Theater here in Kitchener-Waterloo area. Yeah, we're at sold-out show. It's a magic act. I'll be emceeing that one. We've got a couple more shows. I got Multicultural Madness next Friday, SoCap Comedy Theater. Sunday, I've got the Candace Comedy All-Stars, where we have this year's Juno Award winner for Best Comedy Album, Kyle Brownrigg. He's going to be there.
Nice.
I was sick for like a week and had to cancel a whole bunch of shows, so I'm going to make it up now over the next little bit. And Funny Fest, by the way, I'll be performing at Funny Fest in Calgary.
Cool.
Doing 3 nights there. Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Oh, right on, man. Busy man.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Well,
watch
thanks
it.
again. Yeah. Thank you as always to Jordan Angus, Paul Borgo. I'm your host, Dave, and thank you, Portugal. Thank you. We love you.
Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Portugal.
Very nice, people. Very nice.
Exactly. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, and we will see everybody next time.
See you guys.
And new WWE champion, Paul Borgo. Put your hands
The
together for Paul,
beautiful-
everybody.
One of you guys